Do you know the 69 joke? You know that joke about a guy who goes to a prostitute?
No,
An old guy.
I think I'm about to hear it.
Old guy, 80 years old, goes to a prostitute and he says, okay, let's do this. She says, you want a 69? He goes, I don't know what that is. I never heard of that before. She goes, okay, and they get in the position, and she farts in his face. And he goes, I don't think I can take 68 more of those. I can't take 68 more of those.
I can't take 68 more.
Who could? Could you?
You're riding down the Harland Highway.
All right, hold tight on the Harland Highway Show.
Harland Williams.
So we're really doing this, huh? I mean, this is for real? This is happening?
This is the...
Oh, those are the Rubik's headphones. Yeah. If you figure them out within 10 minutes, you get to be on my podcast.
What's the R for?
Retard? Mm-hmm. And the L? Well, I think you know.
Leopold and Low?
No.
Lice?
No. Let's go. L is for let's go, retard.
Lascivious.
Lascivious. Was he a Roman god?
He was a Roman numeral.
Was he really? Which one?
He was IV.
Oh, so the Super Bowl? He was the Super Bowl
No, he was
god?
the one...
Oh, the IV god.
IV.
Oh, wow.
He was IV.
Oh, what university did he go to? Was he Ivy League?
University of Blitba.
Wow, the
Yeah.
Greek one. Are you okay? Oh, yeah. Do you want to?
Yeah, no, this is good.
Are you sure? I want you to be comfortable, my guy.
I can hear you, which, am I supposed to?
Hey, cheers.
Okay.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, second time here, has the courage. Mark Schiff, comedian, writer, author, belly dancer.
Wow.
And welcome to the Harland Highway podcast here at the Harland Highway studio. And Mark, so glad you're back, buddy. I love you. I love having you here.
Love you too, buddy, and I love your studio. You've done nothing with it since the last time I was here.
True that. True that.
Yeah, absolutely the same.
Do you ever do that? Do you ever speak in, is it Ebonics?
Yeah.
I just did a true dat at you. Do you
Is
ever?
it Ebonics or Ubonics?
Well, see, that's the thing. When it's so slang, you don't know.
Right.
Maybe it's a Buick, like a car.
Does that have something to do with the black people?
Black community has their own type of patter, or is it, maybe it's called Ebonics or
I thought
Ubonics.
so.
Like, because I said true dat,
Yeah.
and is that Ubonics or Ebonics?
It could be, but, Bonaire?
Look, if you're getting aroused, that's your problem.
No, it's a,
I thought you said you had a bonaire.
Bonaire.
Yeah, geez, dude.
Wow.
Settle down. Welcome,
This is
buddy.
fantastic. Hey, seriously, good
Do you
to
have
be
to
here,
go?
No,
Okay, good.
but I'll let you know.
Okay. Because
is
I
good.
feel like I see some in your eyes like I want to get the hell out of here.
So let me tell you where I was,
Okay.
unless you want to tell me.
No, please. Let's hear
Last
this.
week I was in Nashville, Tennessee,
Oh, yeah.
and New Orleans.
You were in two places at once?
No, 2 places in 2 days.
Okay, you didn't make that clear. I thought maybe you're some kind of mystic. Okay,
Now, have
sorry.
you been to New Orleans?
Yes.
Okay. Have you been to Nashville?
Yes.
You know Broadway, where those buses go with?
So now we're in New York?
No.
You said Broadway, my guy.
Well, in Nashville, they have that strip where the drunk people go on those buses. They drive them around, they drink, and they pedal.
Oh, like a party like
party
thing. It's like a
bus.
traveling bar,
Yes.
but it's the human power that keeps it going.
Yeah, they pedal and they're drinking.
Oh,
They're drunk
wow.
at 10 in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they hit a crow?
No, but
Oh.
they're drunk out of their minds. And I stopped drinking many years ago.
Oh,
And when I
God. You look a little
A little
dehydrated.
bit. When I saw them, I thought, I quit too soon.
Yeah. Is it
Yeah.
fun?
Yeah, I mean, I was nowhere near what these people were like.
Yeah.
I still had a lot to go.
What? So if you were still a drinker, you would do that? You'd get on a party bike?
No, I couldn't get on it. The
Oh.
way I drank, I couldn't even get on it.
Oh, you'd be that inebriated.
Yeah. I'd be under
You'd
the...
just be like, watch it go by.
Yeah, I did that one day.
You know what I'd like to see, if I can interject for 1 second?
Interject.
I would love to see on one of those bicycle bars, completely hammered, the Wicked Witch of the West.
Yes.
I'll get you a vodka yet, my pretty.
And that dog of yours.
That fucking dog,
Dog of
too.
yours.
Man, she hated dogs.
She really did. So she was like one of those cat women, you know, dude. She lived by herself with 40 cats.
Right. How bad do you have to hate dogs that you'll chase one into a spinning tornado?
Yeah.
That's a dog hater.
But he was brutal, that Toto.
Do you like the dogs?
Pretty.
Do you like them?
I have a dog similar to that dog.
Well, to Toto?
Yeah. Toto is a terrier. And I
Wow.
have a Yorkie.
So
They are Yorkies. My dog is 4 pounds, and they are bred to chase what?
They're bred?
Bred to chase.
Oh,
They're breeding. You know, they're breeding.
okay. I thought your dog had a yeast infection.
No,
You said
no,
he was
no.
bred.
No.
So they're bred to chase. Let me guess. Rabbits or rodents?
You got it.
Because it has to be something small, because a Yorkie's only about as big as a rodent.
Right, 4 pounds. They're bred to chase rats.
You know what I'd like to see one of those Yorkies chase? Because technically it's a rodent. I'd love to see your Yorkie chase down a fully grown capybara.
Wow, or an anteater.
Well, that's an anteater's not a rodent.
It isn't anymore.
But a capybara is the biggest of the rodents living on the shores of the Amazon. They're huge. Imagine your little schmunchkins, or whatever his name is, taking down a cappy.
I was down at the Amazon years ago.
No way, what'd you order?
Nothing. I had the fillet of mosquito. Tremendous amount of mosquitoes there.
I bet you got it done raw.
Years.
Yeah, bloody. Waiter, bring that mosquito bloody.
So I was on a ship
Oh, wow.
And,
going down Broadway?
going down the Amazon. You know,
Oh,
I
wow.
used to do cruises 1,000 years ago.
Wow.
So we stop in this third world part of the Amazon. It's all third world country.
Yeah.
There's a guy, he's deathly ill, and it's going to be about 5 days till the ship gets to land somewhere. So they let him off
He didn't have to pay his parking ticket?
on a stretcher.
Oh.
They had the locals take him off on a stretcher, and this guy's screaming, "Don't leave me here!" Ship got rid of him. Ship got rid of him.
Did they really?
He was sick, and they knew he probably wouldn't live another couple of days. So
What did he have?
some attack. I think it was like a heart thing, and they couldn't, they couldn't go anywhere. There was no place to go for days.
It's sort of like the mindset when you go up the Everest. And if you get distressed or you become stranded, they're like,
Yes.
we don't have the utilities to aid you. And they literally walk past you and let you die.
That's
Was it
right.
sort of that type of mindset?
That's exactly it. They had to dump the guy. By the way, with Everest, I just saw a documentary from 1976. It won the
here we go.
Academy Award
Yeah.
about a Japanese gentleman.
Yeah,
Do you know this one?
I think so.
He
Keep going.
He climbed Everest.
Yeah, and he was gay.
When he got to the top, he was.
Wow, it is a pointy tip.
Yeah, when you finally get to the top, you better make a decision.
Yeah, better do some stretching too.
But they had lost like 5 people on that journey. They fell into the crack.
Wow, what was her name?
Well, they were Japanese, so I don't
small.
want to. Yeah, but
Yeah.
they fell into the crack.
Yeah, I think we've all experienced
It's
the crack.
Yeah, the crack. They
There's
fell
one
down.
in every high school.
Every high school, there's a crack.
I fell into mine out in the smoking lounge,
Wow.
and then almost twice in the cafeteria.
Surprised you could see it there.
I know.
Bizarre.
Just followed the smoke.
So they fell into the crack,
Yeah.
and they kept going.
They kept going in the crack?
No, they jumped over. The 5 guys fell. An avalanche came, knocked them all into the crack.
Wow. And
Buried them
everyone
alive.
else just kept going.
Everyone else goes, they're in the crack. Let's go. We got to make the top of this thing. Wow. And they left them in the crack.
Would you, Mark Schiff?
Yeah, I would.
Be on it.
Yeah,
You'd let them go? You'd walk on by? Walk on by.
Bye.
Imagine they all started singing that as they passed the crack. And they're all in unison. Walk on by. Da, 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 da. Walk on by. And they're like, help, help. Walk on by. Da, 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 da. Wow. Would you?
There was nothing they could do for them.
So you're saying you would walk on by?
If they fell into the crack and I was on the thing and they were covered with 100 million pounds of snow,
Yeah.
walk on by. What can you do?
Now it's a moral dilemma, but would it weigh on you for the rest of your life? Would you live with that guilt?
No, because I didn't do it. But they all got in a circle after, and they did a little spiritual goodbye to them.
Boy,
And
that's
one of the
always a
guys
big
that-
help.
One of the guys that fell into the crack, his son was there. So it's I'm gonna get your name in this documentary. You guys see this. It's one of the best I've ever seen. This and Martin Luther King documentary, the two.
He fell into the crack?
No, he jumped over the crack. Yeah, he was good.
Wow.
He was
A lot of crack in his neighborhood.
Yeah. So anyway, Nashville, New Orleans, down there.
Yeah, and you were on the bike. And now let me ask you this before we get back to Nashville. I'm curious about the guy on your boat. Did you do anything to try and save him, or were you just like, float on by? Da, 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 da.
My medical school, I only went for 1 hour. I
God.
really didn't have anything.
So you
No.
probably just went up, yeah, you're sick, gotta go.
You cannot save everybody. What do
Yeah.
I have to do with this guy? I felt bad for him because I never forgot it.
That's what I mean. It's weighing on your emotions, your morals.
I told his wife, I'm sorry, get rid of his cabin, come stay with me. I put a cold compress on her head. An hour later, she was
We
dancing.
call that a tea bag where I come from.
No, it was a washcloth with, soaked in ice.
Well,
Hour later, she was dancing.
wow.
Yeah,
Dude, you're such what a giver.
yeah.
And did your wife, how'd your wife feel about it?
She's a big fan of my extracurricular activities.
Your extramarital
Yeah,
affairs?
She is. She pushes me in that direction.
Will she ever referee? Like, let's say you're at a Motel 6 in Bakersfield, you're jumping around covered in olive oil.
Yeah.
Will she stand there with a Foot Locker referee striped shirt on with a whistle and sort of oversee your shenanigans?
Well, that's a good question. The answer is yes, but she needs a nature bar. So she has to go in the hotel down to the front desk.
Yeah.
And the breakfast,
The Nook, the breakfast, yeah.
where we go down in
The
the morning.
buffet, yeah.
Between 6 and 9:30 or 6
Yeah.
and 10. They got the nature bar.
Yeah.
They got the yogurt. They got the hard-boiled eggs. They got all this. So a nature bar, she can watch anything.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you, at the Motel 6 where I go in Bakersfield, they have a thing where right in the lobby it says breakfast in bed. And I went up to my room and someone had barfed a French omelet all over my sheets.
Looks the same as when they started.
Really does.
Yeah,
and tastes the same, really.
there's no
it's not
difference.
as warm, but it's still, the little speckles of onion and ham.
If they can get it back up within 15 minutes, you wouldn't know the difference.
Or if you lay on the bed on top of it and rub your legs together like a cricket and make friction,
Yeah. Like that sound.
that omelet will heat up for you. What's this?
Spaceship. Yeah.
You know, it's been so long since we've made spaceship noises together. This feels really nice.
Yeah.
When was the last time we did it? Was it 74?
75, August 5th.
On the boardwalk in Jersey?
Yeah, about a mile from the Atlantic Hotel.
Well, buddy, welcome to the Harland Highway Podcast. I never do this, but I'm going to hit the theme music twice because
Wow.
it's Mark Schiff, ladies and gentlemen. Love having the Schiff here. Did your buddies call you the Schiff growing up, your high school buddies?
So, shifty, shiftless,
cool.
shifter, shit.
Oh, don't like that last
No,
one.
that really,
But that was the kids that weren't really your friends, or were they your close friends?
I hated it more than you can hate anything.
Oh, yeah, it's the worst.
You know,
Yeah, the shit.
how about you, Harland? Were they Punkatoni?
No, mine was Har. Still to this day, my close buddies call me Har. I get Harley sometimes.
Right.
Hardy har every now and then, believe it or not, which is appropriate because sometimes I'm funny, I guess.
Harp.
Herpes?
Harp.
No, I've never had that, although there was a girl I dated in the New York Philharmonic who called me Harp.
Harp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She used to play my pubes at night and lull me to sleep.
Yeah, yeah.
She'd just pull them up and go, dring, 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 dring. Really musical groin area I have.
Yeah.
I want to bring something back.
Sure.
Years ago, Mark Schiff, the writer, let's step out of Mark Schiff, the comedian right now.
Yeah.
Mark Schiff, the writer, calls me up out of the blue. He's writing a book. He goes, Harland, I'm writing a book. I believe it was called Road Stories.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you were interviewing all these comics, asking them about one of their road stories that kind of was a standout moment or something
Yes.
weird or
Yes.
strange. I gave you a couple, but I always wondered this, and I wanted to turn it around. What was one of yours? I should have asked you on the phone that day, but do you have one particular road story that really like stood out? I'm sure you have dozens, but was there one that stood out above all the others that just stayed with you?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Is there one you can recall that I don't know if it had something to do with a psycho fan or a malfunction on the stage or someone on the staff or a heckler? Is there one?
Well, there were a lot of those. There was,
Yeah.
well, I did have a heckler.
Okay.
And, one night at the comic strip in New York.
Yeah.
On 82nd and 2nd. Have you ever been there? So there's
Yeah, the strip.
Yeah, the doors in the back of the room. It's these one of those doors that swing.
They open and close.
Yeah. So this couple comes in. I'm on stage. It's Saturday night,
Oh God.
and all of a sudden I hear, "You're not funny." They weren't in a foot yet.
How did they know?
They knew. Sometimes you know things in life.
Okay.
So I said, "Excuse me," and he goes, "You're not funny." And they hadn't heard one sentence that I did. So I said, generally when people do that, it's because they have a small penis.
Whoa.
Well, this set him off. He comes towards the stage, goes, "I'm going to kill you."
Whoa.
Jumps up on stage. I jump off stage, and he chases me for 5 blocks.
Get out.
Yeah. He chased me for. I hit the nerve on the guy.
You're that good of a runner?
When someone's after me that's going to kill me, I'm 20% better than I usually am.
How did he not catch you with having no penis? It should have like made his legs move faster.
Yeah. So that was one. Tim Allen, by the way, I'll tell you a great story.
Wait, before you go, I'm just because
please.
I do comedy now and then.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just like run behind the security guards at this comedy club?
There's no security because you're in the room. There's nobody in there watching.
Yeah.
But you got to remember, this is in the 80s.
Yeah. No
don't have-
bouncer, no security.
Lucian Hold.
Oh, I
was in
remember
charge,
Lucian.
big
Yeah.
skinny guy.
Yeah.
He's at the front desk checking people in, letting
So he was unaware.
And the guy was coming after me. I just ran out the front door. He ran out after me.
Wow, that's crazy. And what happened? He just kind of ran out of breath and dropped off.
Yeah, he couldn't catch me. And then I didn't go back to the club for like a couple of days because I was.
You must have just been running on adrenaline.
It was incredible.
Was that maybe like the fastest you've ever bolted, do you think?
Except when my mother was coming after me with a
Shotgun?
harp.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah,
Your
bang
mother
over
had
my head.
harpies?
Yeah. So, Jimmy Brogan?
Jimmy, yeah.
So here's a road story that we did.
Oh, God.
So Jimmy sleeps late,
Okay.
12, 1 in the afternoon.
Wow, okay. I
We're
wish.
in a hotel, and I used to do this to him all the time, and he absolutely hated it. So I would hang a sign on the door. Well, he would put "Do Not Disturb." I would take it off,
Oh, God.
and I would hang a sign on the door. "I'm deaf. Please bang as hard as you can." And the cleaning lady would come and just start banging on the door.
Oh, I love it.
And then he comes, what? And then he sees the sign. And then I would leave another sign.
Did he know you put the sign?
Of course he did.
Okay.
Then I put another sign on his door. I got a basket.
Yeah.
Right? And I put it in front of his door, and I put a sign, "Leave clothes to be laundered in this basket."
Don't lose your mic. You're
Right.
drifting.
Leave clothes to be laundered in this. People
Yeah.
have their clothes. They
Yeah,
send
yeah.
out for the day and come back.
Yeah.
So he would open the door, and there'd be like piles of clothing in front of his room there.
And Jimmy's the most docile,
Yeah.
like quiet, gentle. Like
Yeah.
the fact that you said he came out and raised his voice.
Oh,
I
he-
can't picture him ever raising his voice.
Well, he just opened it. "What are you banging?"
Wow. Oh, I love it. Jimmy was one of the best guys, still is one of the best guys at crowd work you'll ever see.
Incredible. Yeah,
Incredible.
I was with him last 2 weeks ago
Oh,
with
God.
Leno and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because he was Leno's booker for a while on The Tonight Show. He booked all the
For years.
comedians. Yeah, and he helped Jay write his monologues. And
Every night he would go
So
up to Jay's
funny.
house at 10 p.m.
yeah.
until like 1 in the morning. He'd work on the jokes.
Jimmy Brogan, just so people can reference it. I don't know if there's footage of him on. He was one of those kind of great comedians that was in the shadows. He didn't really do TV or movies so much. He had spots, but he wasn't a household name, but just a great, hilarious writer and so quick on his feet. Good
Incredible.
crowd work.
Incredible.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny.
So another one was the room next to me. Mm-hmm. Trying to get to sleep. It's like 1 in the morning here.
Yeah. You were masturbating?
No, the
Oh.
room next to me. So I give it a couple of minutes. I
Yeah.
figure, you know.
Yeah.
So I called downstairs. I called the front desk. I said, listen, I can't sleep. The people next to me, you know, are going at it. And anyway, they said, if it continues, let us know.
What if it was a guy from the Amazon in the next room with his heart condition?
Well, you don't know. So
Okay,
anyway,
sorry.
I finally called them
Yeah.
again. They came up. They opened the guy's door, and you guessed it. He's on a ventilator. Having sex, but he's on the ventilator.
You saved it.
Yeah, I did.
Folks, this is
I
what-
pulled it back.
I ruined his joke. I stepped on his punchline, and then this is the pro that he is. He found a way out and made it funny with a brand new punchline instantly. Mark, hang on.
punchline- Go ahead.
Hang on. Wow.
That punchline did not exist until 30
Right?
seconds ago.
So aren't you glad I sort of pushed?
Of course.
Like I did, I apologize. I did step on it.
That's okay.
But the fact that you harvested something new out of it,
Yeah.
and when you ever tell that joke, now I think
I
that's
got
a
an
fun
ending.
I think that's a fun punchline. He was still having sex anyways. Can you imagine having sex with a ventilator?
yes,
How could you 69 with that mask on your
that is
face?
true. Unless she's on one too.
Wow, then you could just swap them.
Yeah, I'll go to yours, you go to mine.
And then instead of putting them on the face, you put them each on your... No.
Do you know the 69 joke? You know that joke about a guy who goes to a prostitute?
No,
An old guy.
I think I'm about to hear it.
Old guy, 80 years old, goes to a prostitute and he says, okay, let's do this. She says, you want a 69? He goes, I don't know what that is. I never heard of that before. She goes, okay. And they get in the position and she farts in his face. And he goes, I don't think I can take 68 more of those. See? That a good joke?
I love that joke.
That's a great joke.
I love that. That is a great joke.
I can't take 68 more of
I
those.
can't take 68 more.
Who could? Could you?
No, I wouldn't even want one, to be honest.
But it could happen.
Yeah, that would be, I think if that happened, albeit a mistake or an accident, I think I might not be able to be with that person again. I think it would freak me out. Like I'd have memory recall, like any time. Would that freak you out or no? I mean,
Totally.
it's just a human function. I know we all do it, but when you're in the middle of erotic sex and
Yeah.
someone does like a Cracker Barrel meatloaf
Yeah.
fart in your face,
When you're in the middle.
yeah, it's hard to come back.
There was a comedian in the Valley that told a story.
Oh,
He met this woman after the show, and they went out. They went out for food. The only thing open was Mexican,
okay.
and they went out for Mexican food. And
Wow.
he loves hot peppers. Loves them.
He does?
He loves
okay.
hot peppers.
Yeah.
So he orders a little dish, and he's eating them, and they're eating and having
Yeah.
a great time. And they get back to the room, and they get naked.
Oh, God.
Hang in.
Oh, I'm here.
They're in bed, and he starts fooling with her with his hand.
Yeah.
And she starts screaming like the most incredible erotic ecstasy he had ever heard.
Yeah.
And then he realized it was the hot peppers that were on his hands.
Oh, okay.
And it just burnt it. He thought he was doing well. He thought he was having the time of that. She was really into this. She was burning to death. See what I mean?
So the residue from the pepper
Yes!
was just
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like never get a blowy from a girl who just rinsed with Listerine.
No.
Yeah, that's just like radioactive.
And the last story, I think it was Tim
Okay.
Allen that told this one.
Tim Allen from Home Improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was on stage. Somebody's heckling him.
Okay.
He says, please, he's going back and forth.
Yeah.
Please stop. The guy continues. He goes, please stop. Continues. He says, if you don't stop, I'm coming down there. The guy heckles again. Gets off the stage, goes over to the guy, punches him in the face.
Tim punched the guy?
Knocked out a couple of teeth.
Whoa.
Finds out it was the guy next to him that was heckling.
No.
Yes.
So did he punch the other guy?
It was too late.
Oh, my God. What'd the guy with no teeth do? I guess he couldn't say anything. He had no teeth.
Well, here was Tim. I was just going to the next one.
Wow.
I had nothing to do with it. I was just watching the show.
You fart in that guy's face, and the wind goes right to the back of
right
his
to the
neck.
back of the neck.
Wow. My story. Do you remember the story I told you? You might, because you interviewed 300 comedians. You probably don't remember mine.
Tell me.
Mine wasn't you do?
No.
Mine wasn't so spectacular, but it was unique.
Yes.
Should I retell it for you?
Please, 100,000%.
Okay, it was I was doing a show in Minnesota at the Mall of America. They had a comedy club in there, this huge mall. It's like, I think it's the biggest mall in North America.
Right.
There's like 5 of every store. It's so they have
you go to one section and then they have all the same stores. You go in that section.
It's so big.
They got the rides in the middle.
They got a water park, a wave machine, a skating rink, a roller coaster. What isn't there? And so I'm doing a show. I'm up on stage. I'm about halfway through, and I'm doing a bit. I'm in the middle of the bit. I haven't hit the punchline yet. I'm like, so I was at this store, blah blah blah, and all of a sudden the whole crowd, not the whole crowd, but kind of the front row area, all of a sudden a reaction I'd never had happen before. Did I tell you this?
No.
All of a sudden, like 30 people just went, oh. Wow. And I was like, what the? Like, I kind of frizzled because I was like, I almost felt like they were looking at a newborn baby. They're like, oh. And so I started looking around, and behind me on the stage, on the floor, somehow, some way, a little mouse had come out. Like a Christmas mouse, and he was just sitting there like, and I looked at him. He was just with his little black beard, and his whiskers were twitching. And even I was like, oh, but it was the weirdest.
Yeah.
Like, worse than a heckle. It just like, my brain frazzled for a minute. And the fact that everyone was so enamored with this thing and it just stopped the show. It was so bizarre.
Yeah. That's, and you don't know sometimes what's going on.
You don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just beautiful.
I had one on stage. Thank you for that. I had one on stage.
Yeah.
I was in, I can't remember where I was, but I'm at a club. It's a club that's in a hotel.
Oh, yeah. Those are sort of the
One of the
cheesier
cheesy.
ones. Yeah, yeah.
But attached to it was a strip club, like right next door, same building.
What was it called, the strip club? Because they always have funny names.
Yeah, Bottoms Up. One of those, whatever it was.
I went to one, I'll just to interrupt because I got to say it. I went to this one in the middle. I think it was in Appleton, Wisconsin or something. It was called Bean Snappers.
Wow.
And they gave me a tie-dyed shirt with like silhouettes of naked girls on it. And underneath it says, I ain't never met a dude that don't like nude.
Really?
I still have the shirt.
Who gave it to you when you went in there?
When we went in there, the owners get, because they recognized me and they're like,
Wow.
oh, dude, have a shirt. And it's just the most, okay, back to you.
So I have a wireless mic in my club.
I thought you were going to say in your pants.
No, wireless mic, and I'm walking around the stage.
Okay.
And somehow, whatever it is,
Arby's?
frequency
Oh, your frequency? Yeah.
crossed with their frequency at the strip club.
So it was a trans strip club?
So what happened was I started hearing them coming through our speakers.
Oh, right.
So I'm on stage, and all of a sudden I hear, show us the tits, girls. Show the tits, girls. Come on, more tit. And they're screaming like this. And the guy, I hear, yeah! So we couldn't be stopped. Couldn't be stopped.
Oh, wow.
So I said to the audience, what do you want to do? Because it sounds like they're having more fun than we are.
And you all went over?
A lot of people went over there. Yeah, I went over with about 6 or 8 people.
You did too?
Yeah.
You left the stage?
I had to. You have no choice at that point.
Yeah.
But go over there, and everybody else is laughing, and we go, and then came back, of course, a few minutes later, and then shut the mic and had to perform the rest of the show without a mic.
A cappella.
Yeah, I have that album, a cappella.
It's also a great Italian dish.
It is, with the sauce.
You know, isn't it befuddling when people who take the time to erect a comedy club or rent a space or inhabit a room and turn it into a comedy club, they either don't do the research or they don't care. There was a club, I don't know if it's still there, a Funny Bone in St. Louis.
I worked it.
And you do the first show Everything's dandy, although they were the last club in the country to allow smoking right into like the 90s.
Wow.
So I'd do a show there and like come out with black lung. But then second show, these guys right on the other wall, through drywall, no concrete, just regular drywall, a full-on jazz music club.
Wow.
So about 4 minutes into your set on the second show, just people in the front row are going, I can't hear the comedian.
Snare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just, you're going, what are you goofballs thinking? And then it's not conducive for us. I kind of lose. I get deflated. I go, I don't really want to perform now.
No. Only thing worse than that is when they have a bar in the back of the room with a blender.
Oh, God, yeah.
My mother.
Yeah.
The last time I ever worked that club, I'll tell you what happened.
The St. Louis one?
Yeah. So in between shows, the guy says, there was a little ticket booth outside.
Yeah.
And he says to me, Mark, come into the ticket booth with me. I want to pay you, and I've got to leave early, so I'll just pay you. It was the last show.
Cash?
Yeah, it was all cash.
Okay.
So I go into this little booth with him. It's like a photo mat booth. Very small.
Yeah. Okay.
No room for two people. I'm standing like hunched over with him.
So he paid you and developed your film.
Yeah, and I got pictures of my aunt. So he says to me, what's the worst thing that ever happened to you in all your years of performing? So I said, being in here with you right now. And it was the last time I worked that club.
Just for a second. Remember about 15 minutes ago when I asked you what your worst story was on the road?
This one was worse.
Yeah, but weren't you supposed to lead with the worst?
Yes.
I mean,
always a nitpicker, are you?
Well, just...
But I didn't remember that story before.
Okay. I just thought maybe you were playing me, player.
No.
I thought maybe you were playing me.
No.
Hey, everybody. Check out my merchandise at harbling.com. Yeah, most people just slap some letters or images on a t-shirt or a hoodie. But not me. Yours truly. Guess what? I draw my own designs. At harbling.com, you can see tons of my hand-drawn t-shirts. You can either buy the original or you can buy a print. And man, oh man, wear them loud and proud. I love making these designs for you guys and keeping it personal. So check out the whole catalog. We got hoodies, we got coffee mugs, we got t-shirts, you name it, it's there at harbling.com. Get your Harland original design, wearable art at harbling.com today. And thank you for your support, and I'll just keep the groovy images coming. Okay, speaking of strip clubs,
one more.
Please.
I've got to, with Gilbert Gottfried.
Gilbert Gottfried. Oh, my God. Did you love Gilbert? Didn't he do the voice of the Aflac duck or something? Aflac.
I love Gilbert.
I dated a girl who was in the insurance game, and every time she orgasmed, Aflac!
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember her.
I ended up turning into a pillow.
Judy Pigeon.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember. With Gilbert, we're Texas. Yeah, we're in Texas in a motel. You know, with the little balconies. You come out of your room and you walk in. So in one of these things, I got a room. He's got a room, and the cleaning lady in the morning says, and it's the same 2 rooms every week for the comedians.
Oh,
right. Every week.
So now you're rolling around in Pauly Shore's hair and Ron White's pubes.
Ron White's white.
Yeah.
So room 102, 103. So the cleaning lady, the wonderful lady, she says, listen, you guys are comedians, and a lot of times the guys leave some passes for us. We'll come at night to see the show.
Okay.
So I said to Gilbert, yeah, of course, we'll do that. So we leave passes. So she said, I'll tell you what, if you want, I'll pick you guys up.
The cleaning lady?
Yeah, we'll pick you up at the hotel. Me and my sister, her sister and her, we'll come by, we'll take you to the club, and then bring you back. So no funny business at all. We get in the car, we go to the club, we do the show. She drops us off. Gilbert goes to his room, I go to my room. The morning, no cleaning lady. Don't see her. Where is she? usually. So I
Yeah.
said to somebody else, "What happened? Where is she?" Because we were there last night at the club, and she's not here. She goes, "Well, she stabbed somebody this morning here and killed them."
For real?
Yeah. She got in a big tussle with another cleaning person. They got in a fight. She felt she was being taken, advantage of because the woman was having...
Don't forget your
Yeah,
mic.
yeah. And she stabbed this other cleaning lady to death. This is the woman that Gilbert and I went out with the night before.
Just real quick.
Yeah.
Remember about 25 minutes ago when I asked you your craziest road
Yeah.
story?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I didn't remember it.
Okay. Well, just,
God!
You didn't remember going out with the murdering
No.
lady on the road?
I
at
may
the
have blocked it out because it was a frightening sort of...
Okay. Well, speaking of women, okay,
Yeah.
we encounter women on the road. Sometimes you get groupies. Sometimes you get a woman
Groupers?
a grouper if you're working down in Florida.
Yeah, the fish. Yeah.
Sometimes you'll have a woman who's infatuated, or a woman just
Is that a
looking
fat
for.
woman?
Yeah, they get infatuated.
Yeah, infatuated is
They're
a
all
fat woman.
Yeah, and that's the Latin word for overweight.
Yeah.
Infatuated.
I know people that love infatuated women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But have you ever had? Is there a story? And I know you're married and you're a dedicated guy, but was there ever a crazy girl story for you where a woman was sort of chasing you down after a gig, or wouldn't get away from you, or sent you a note, or anything like that stands out? And by the way, let's put the best one at the top this time. Oh.
No, I never had any sex on the road.
I'm not saying it had to be sex.
Yeah,
it could just be,
a
the
lunatic.
knife thing was
Yeah.
someone you weren't connected
Yeah.
to, but was there ever a girl that, you guys went out for coffee, or you went on a date, and something just kind of went goofy?
Yeah. So there was one
Okay.
after the show. I get this straight. So this girl comes over, starts talking to me, and we're chatting, and it's a very short story here.
Yeah.
And she's kind of drunk. She's a little drunk.
Okay.
She's a little drunk.
Yeah.
She's been drinking.
Drunk.
So she says, "Let's go for a drink."
She was epileptic?
No, she was a little toasted, So we go for a drink. I buy her a drink. And she goes, "All right, good. And where you staying?" So I said, "Well, I'm at this hotel down the block." She said, "All right." And we go out. And she said, before we go up there, I want to know, how big is it?
Whoa.
So I said, "What? How big is it?"
Yeah.
So I was on a spiritual path. I couldn't lie. So I told her, "I'm not going with you.
Say that again?
I'm not going with you.
One more time, guy. I'm not
going with you.
I'm not
I'm not going with you." Yeah, there you go. So that was a kind of it hurt.
I'm not sure I even understand that story, guy.
No,
Do you understand it?
I do.
Can you explain it to me?
I don't know that you don't really understand it.
I don't think I do. Okay, let me recap.
Yes.
You meet a girl. She's a little drunk. She's talking like this.
Yeah,
She says, "I want to go to the hotel."
I was,
And then she goes, "How big is it?" And then, "I want to go, yeah." I'm not sure
Yeah.
What am I missing here? Talk to me.
So
With the normal voice. Don't answer me like that.
she's screaming, "How big is it?"
Right, I got that.
And I tell her the truth.
And you say what?
The truth.
Which was?
I can't tell you that.
Okay, so you tell her the truth.
And she goes, "I'm not going with you."
Oh, she said, I thought, no word of a lie.
Yeah.
I thought you said, "I'm going with you." That's
No,
why I didn't.
I'm not going with you.
If we could use words next time,
Next time,
even.
you got
Just possible, like words these people would recognize, my 7 or 8 viewers.
Yeah. So that was one of those nights.
I had early on in my stand-up career, I was in a club in Saskatchewan. Okay, the prairie, one of the prairie provinces. Okay, Saskatchewan's it's just flat land.
Been there.
They say if you use binoculars on a clear day, you can see the back of your own head.
Wow, that is a
Yeah.
fact.
So I'm fairly new. I'm maybe 2 years into stand-up. I'm in Saskatchewan for my first time. The stage is sort of elevated. It's normally comedy stages are sort of at like kind of foot level. This one was sort of up, so you're looking down like maybe 3-4 feet.
Yeah.
I'm doing my thing. I'm like, 15 minutes in, and I see the crowd. There's a girl right front middle, and then just people. I look down, and this girl, very ambidextrous, for whatever reason, this is a real story. I look down, she's taken both her legs and put them behind her head, her dress up, and this staring me right in the face. Right. Like I'm just looking right down into
the portable TV. Yeah.
Clam land.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, and she just got this grin on her face, like, and then that stopped, and then later in the set, she did it again. And I was just like, what kind of career am I in for?
That's bad parenting.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
That's when you have parents that raise, Cirque du Soleil parents that raise children.
That's really an issue.
That's why the Cirque du Soleilers shouldn't breed.
So one of the first gigs...
By the way, can I just finish the story?
Yes, ma'am.
I never finished the set because I got hit in the eye with a ping pong ball. And
right out of there.
Down. Well,
she popped it out, huh?
I'm not going to say, but no, that part didn't happen, but this really did. It was
I've had somebody
unnerving.
I had somebody flash me at a club.
You did?
Yeah, right.
Remember when I said earlier if you could go right to the top story about
Yeah. Well, it was.
So let's hear that one now, and then I'm sure there's a better one after this, but let's do number two.
That's all there was in that story, but there was one where I worked Canada when I was new on, and there were 2 shows a night.
Yes.
7 nights, 2 shows a night.
7 nights?
Yeah,
You didn't just do a weekend? You did every night?
Sure. So did you when you first started.
No.
As soon as you start traveling, all you did was
we just
weekends?
did like Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
We did Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 6 nights.
You got worked, playa.
So I get the gig. It's $1,500, which is a tremendous amount of money. This is the first time I've ever gone to Canada. 2 shows a night, 45 minutes. I only have about 20 minutes of material.
Yeah.
But you take the gig.
You take it and just pray.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do the first set.
Yeah.
The guy comes back, goes, that was really good. And second show, he looks at the watch, it's about an hour. And I look, the audience is still sitting there. So I said, what's going on here with them? Well, they have dinner now.
Oh, no.
And then after dinner, the second show with them.
With the same crowd.
Yeah, I said, what do you mean them? Them? He goes, yeah. I said, you don't turn it over? He said, no. You come, you do the show, they have some drinks, then they have dinner, and then they sit there and you do again.
Was this in Newfoundland?
This was, I think, in Edmonton, cowboy country.
Okay, the other side, yeah.
Unbelievable. So I was out of material the first show, 20 minutes in. And I got 45 to go. Right.
And you probably did any crowd work you could already do.
Oh, I did it all.
Right?
Yeah.
You can't. Hey, you again. Are you still working at the post office?
Yeah, I wish I could get into the food a little. How was your dinner? Something like that. But that was a minute and a half.
Were you just sweating bullets?
I just started talking. They would have been proud of me at Second City.
Yeah, you improvised.
It was a total 45 minutes of...
Those are the gigs where you pull out material that you had tried before and it never worked.
Oh, yeah.
Or it sort of worked. And it was like, oh, I did this bit about cars. I thought it would work, but it never really worked. But you still remember it. And because you need new material, you pull it out and you go, thank God, but it still doesn't work, but at least you're filling time.
Yeah, at least you could... Well, I didn't even have that material.
Oh, dude.
I was out. And so what I did was, and I'm not proud of this, but it's over. This was way before Spotify, where you could go online and listen, or YouTube, before you could listen to any comedian in the world.
Oh, yeah.
None of that.
I
went to a record store the next day, and I bought albums. And
stole material?
Yeah. In fact, there was a tape. I had a tape recorder, a tape deck, and I bought the cassette tapes, and I just stole material.
Did you do any of mine?
That's all I did was yours. And I
Did
never
they add
got
a third show?
Third show, same audience. I think I would have committed suicide on stage.
Can you imagine? Said, Mark, it went so well. We're adding a late show.
We're adding a late show. They love you so much. But this will be the blue show. We really want you to work
Imagine there was 3 shows and the girl was sitting in the front row every show. Yay! And she starts
just
clapping.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was
That's a good memory. Speaking of memories, let's shift gears.
memories.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you get an x-ray?
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. These are good stories.
This will be an unusual story, and I'm going to make you have to dig a little. But I find it fascinating. Do you remember, as a human being, a human entity, a ball of atoms and molecules that is Mark Schiff, do you recall your very first memory as a human being, or one of them? And let's go to the best one first, please. But can you remember, were you 7? Were you 3? Were you 2? I mean, I saw this thing on Joe Rogan's podcast recently where Terrence Howard said he had a memory of being in the womb.
Right.
Which it's possible. Who knows? Everyone's different. But
Right.
do you remember your first memory and how old you were and what it was and how vivid it was?
So there are 2 memories that are vivid.
Okay.
One was when I was 5, maybe 4,
Okay, that's pretty early.
having my tonsils out.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I remember that.
Do you remember?
I remember mine.
How old were you?
I don't remember, but I was probably a bit older. I think probably like 7 or 8, but go.
No, I was 4 or 5.
Oh.
I remember being in the hospital, and I remember them telling me, "You get an ice cream."
Yeah, and ginger ale.
They didn't say the ginger ale. But they
Okay,
said
we
the
got ice cream and ginger ale.
vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
And I woke up. I couldn't talk, and I remember it was even a bars around the bed because they were afraid I was going to fall off. I was so young. and
Yeah.
I just had been doped up.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I said, ice cream.
Yeah. And it hurt to even whisper.
Impossible.
Yeah.
Impossible. It gets worse after the second or third day. It just gets worse. So that was my first memory that I really hang on to.
Because it's so sort of traumatic, isn't it? To get to be that young and be in a hospital and basically you're having an operation.
And an hour earlier, I could talk, and now I can't
Right.
talk anymore. And
by the way, what kid doesn't want ice cream? I was the same guy. And then they give you all the ice cream you can eat, and you can't eat it because it hurts. It hurts so much, you don't want to eat anything. You can't even
it
swallow your
exploded.
saliva.
As soon as the cold hit it, it exploded in the throat.
And by the way, I look at the world now. When was the last time you heard of a kid getting their tonsils out? Was that just a scam by the hospitals to make money?
So
I never hear of it anymore.
my grandson got his out, but his were so bad. They took out the adenoids, the tonsils, and they put plugs in his ears.
No way, AC or DC?
Macklemore.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the next memory,
Yeah.
7.
Oh, wow. So a collection.
So this woman, our neighbor, told my mother that she was going to get me roller skates for my birthday,
Your 7th birthday.
7th birthday.
So you were 6 really then?
Yeah. So she
Okay.
said to me, the neighbor said, "Listen,
Little
Mark, what would you
inaccurate.
like for your birthday?" I said, "Roller skates."
Well, can we ask why?
Because I didn't have any.
But you just loved them? You liked the idea?
I was at the age now at 7 where
Yeah.
roller skates are going to start working for me. And I had
Okay.
friends that had them.
Yeah.
I don't remember my friends having, but I remember I wanted them.
Great. Okay.
So she says to my mother, "Don't get him roller skates. I will get him roller skates."
Okay.
Beautiful. My birthday comes, no roller skates.
Mothers.
Nothing. No roller
Needs them.
skates. So I said to my mother, "Roller skates. Where's the roller skates?"
Skates, babe.
She said, "Well, maybe she forgot." I said, "Well, why don't you talk to her? Because I want the skates."
Yeah.
So my mother
Daddy
said,
wants to roll.
You can't go asking people for things. She said she was going to give them to you, but if she doesn't, you're going to have to let it go.
Yeah.
So I'm not letting it go.
Good.
So she had 2 daughters. One was about 3, and the other was maybe 4.5.
Okay.
So we used to go into the room and play together,
Yeah.
So I taught them both to say fuck.
Well, that's not really playing.
Yeah. I said, "I want you to learn this word and then go tell your mother."
To fuck?
No, just fuck. Just say fuck. So
And
they
did
go,
the mother...
fuck.
Okay.
And they got it down. They got it down. I said, "Let's go inside."
They said uck?
No, they said fuck.
Okay.
So then we walk inside, and I said to the mother, "They want to tell you something." And they go, "Fuck." And the other one, "How about you?" "Fuck." And it was the last time she let me in her house. But I didn't get the skates from her. So what I did was I never got skates as a child. You know what I did?
What?
When I was 30 years old, I was still hanging on to this.
Yeah.
I went out and bought myself a pair of skates.
Did you fuck?
No. And I skated for a couple of days, and then I donated them.
Did you buy the Daisy Dukes?
I can't remember which ones I bought, but how's that for a memory, early memory?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Wow.
But and that's why I'm a comic, because cross me, I got to do something.
Yeah, you got it. You're a little vindictive, maybe.
You too.
Me?
No.
Why? What did I ever do?
Nothing.
Why am I getting sucked into your
But
reality?
if somebody,
I never told my neighbor's kids to fuck.
Yeah, but if somebody screws you over, right? I mean, don't you know?
Well, fuck you over in your case.
Yeah. So that was
Wow.
that was an early memory.
Were you good on roller skates? Somehow I'm not picturing you being too elegant.
I had to skate with my arms out. You
Oh,
the people
really?
That can
So
skate
you're-
with their arms behind their back. They're just like
Yeah,
this type of
like
thing.
hostages.
It was like walking on a tightrope. I never got good.
Yeah, and this isn't an insult. I just, sometimes you look at a person and you go, I don't think so. I'm not picturing you being too eloquent on roller skates.
What could you, to look at me, what do you think I'm good at?
Accounting?
Anti-Semitic bastard. Look at you. The Jew and money.
You're Jewish?
I could be.
Am I?
You could be.
Fuck.
Money, accounting was not my thing.
Why not?
It wasn't.
You're just not good with numbers? Were you more street smart than
Yes.
academic?
Yes. You know where I learned math? At the racetrack.
No way. I didn't know horses could do math.
I cut school.
Really?
I would go to Aqueduct and Belmont, which are the two tracks in New York.
Okay.
And they have the tote board with all the figures and fractions. And I learned multiplication, subtraction, and
Division.
division, of course.
Yeah.
And then track variance. The
Wow.
depth of the dirt during a muddy run,
Ooh.
you got to learn from the inside to the outside.
So you used math to become a gambler
A gambler.
because that plays into how a race is going to play out, the depth of the mud, because some horses are mud runners.
Right.
Some aren't.
Right.
So that then creates drag on the hooves of the horses, or they don't know how to maneuver in the mud as well as other horses.
So you got some mudders.
So you used math to make
That's
money.
right. You figure it out. But
See, that makes you smarter. That makes you smarter than any academic.
accountant.
Yeah.
Do you know crossing the street is math?
Explain.
Of course it is, because you're a kid, you're standing here, you got to figure out how long it's going to take that car to come to you, and do I have time to cross the street?
Oh, I get it. So 1 plus getting hit by truck equals dead.
Dead, right. So
Okay.
you got to time it. And a couple of times you've been close, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost stepped out in front of a streetcar once.
Fuck!
Is your neighbor
No,
here?
she's not here.
Well, you just...
You stepped out.
So I'm crossing a road, and I'm in a city. I'm in Toronto, and they still have streetcars, right?
Yes, they do.
So I'm going across the road. My mind is so used to looking for cars, traffic, trucks, vans, whatever. I'm getting across. It's one of those roads where you get halfway across. There's a median, not a comedian.
Yeah, median.
Just a median. He's not that funny yet.
right.
So I'm on the median. I see the median. I don't see any cars coming. There's clearly a streetcar, but my mind did one of those things where it was on auto trained just to see moving vehicles.
No.
And I literally had 1 foot off the median. Ding, 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 ding. And I just went like
Wow.
that. And the thing, like, if I had been looking the other way, I would have stepped right in front of it. That was scary.
Yeah.
When you're driving down a road like a highway, and I just thought of this, and you see that thing where it says, keep off the median.
Yeah.
Do you ever think of getting out with a Sharpie and writing calm in front of it? Keep off the comedian.
Comedian.
I always do. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
I always want to put
I've not
calm.
thought that, but I
Now
can
you
see
will.
Now I will.
See how I've helped you? I've sort of expanded your mind.
You know-
I sit here and all I've learned is that you teach young children how to say fuck.
Yeah.
But I've expanded your mind.
I'm glad I did it.
Not a fair trade,
By the way,
really.
I'm glad I taught them that.
Your glasses are round. Mine are kind of
Talk about driving. I was in Alaska.
driving.
Yeah. And
Wow.
I remember I had another gig in Alaska. I had a week in Alaska, and I rented a car. You ever rent a car in your gigs?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I rented a car, and I used to like to drive really weird. So I would drive like half on the sidewalk and half off, so the car was like on an angle.
That's not so much weird as we call it murder.
No, nobody was in the way. I would just drive sideways, like this.
On the sidewalk.
Half the car was on the sidewalk, half was on the street. I'd go up on the sidewalk and then just go ahead. But
What was it? You couldn't decide if you wanted to walk or drive? Like, what was the mentality?
So I get a phone call at the hotel.
Well, probably because you hit the phone booth.
Didn't hit anything.
Okay.
Mr. Schiff, this is the so-and-so sergeant at the Alaska Police Force, whatever. You were spotted driving half on the sidewalk and half on the street.
Yeah.
He says, what's the reason you're doing that, sir? And I was honest. I said, because I was just trying to have a good time, fun. He goes, well, we don't like when you do that here, so if you do it again, you get spotted, we're going to have to ask you to return the car. No penalty. Just you'll have to return the car.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, and he let me go. It was nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
You never hit anything.
Zero. Alaska, you got these streets, there's nothing on them. There's no meters, there's no poles. It's just a...
But what was the thrill for you? Like having two wheels higher up? Like, what was in it for you?
I like driving on an angle like this.
Have
you
do?
Have you ever gone to a parking lot and with snow and stepped on it and spun around?
Yeah. You do like donuts in the snow?
Yeah, with a rent-a-car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like that feeling?
Yeah.
You would have been a great autistic kid.
And then
Just walking in
you always
circles.
have to gas up before, right? When you return it.
Well, you don't have to. There's
Right.
another option where you can pay at the beginning and they'll fill it up. But somewhere in there's a scam, obviously.
Yeah, so I took the I will fill it up one because it was more expensive the other way. So if I was in a
Okay.
place like Alaska where I'm not going to come back to, I'd run a hose with water and I'd fill it up like that.
No.
Yes.
And destroy the car.
Well, I don't know if does that destroy cars?
I don't think you can run tap water through an engine. I mean,
Even if there's still some gas in there?
I'm sure it would water the gas down, but I can't imagine that's healthy.
Now you tell me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So I used to do that sometimes.
Dude, you are wild. Have you ever been hit by a falling tree?
No.
You will.
Yeah. Lightning?
Wait.
No. I was never hit by lightning.
Have you seen a tree get hit by lightning?
No, but I saw a guy jump off a building.
Talk to me, guy.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Do you remember where Catch a Rising Star was?
Which one? There was a chain.
One in New York, 77th and 1st.
Sort of.
Okay, so it's there. And I was about 3 blocks away, and I was at a payphone next to this giant 40-story building.
On the sidewalk?
On the payphone's on the sidewalk, and I'm
Watch
facing
out
the
for
street.
crazy drivers.
I'm facing the cars, going
Yeah.
on First Avenue. All of a sudden, I hear an explosion behind me. And I turn around, and somebody had jumped off the building 10 feet away from me, hit the ground, exploded.
The body.
Exploded. So I called 911. And they said, yes, is emergency? I said, not really. The emergency is over.
Yeah.
But I think you need to come out here and take a look at this. They said, what happened? I said, well, somebody jumped off the building and they exploded. And then I went and I looked in the area before they got there and I found an eye.
Really?
Yep.
What version?
It was 17.
The iPhone 17?
Yeah, iPhone 17. It was way ahead of its day.
Wow.
So how's that, huh?
Was the mirror cracked? Was the glass cracked?
It was a little breaking in.
Dude, that's crazy. So just so I'm clear,
Yeah.
someone either was pushed or committed suicide.
Right.
The body made impact with the ground. Traditionally, people think a body might just crumble and flump and still look like a body. But what you're saying, it sort of blew apart.
Yeah.
It's wearing clothing, or was it naked?
I didn't see anything. I just saw there was blood all around.
Was there like pieces of like
No,
meat that
it was-
detached, or was it
it
just
was-
severed limbs? And
Yeah, it was just like the whole thing exploded.
Oh.
This wasn't off the 3rd floor. I mean, this guy was coming 20, 30 floors.
You know why I'm asking this? Because I was in Vancouver like probably about, 8 years ago or something.
And you saw that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's stitched back together. They call him Frankenstein. But I was at an outdoor fair, and it was underneath, like they got these big bridges in Vancouver. They looked like the Golden Gate Bridge.
Sure.
And a sort of fair marketplace went underneath, and there were shops and bakeries and touristy things. And I was with a girlfriend, and we walked in, we went under the bridge, and then as we were coming back about, half an hour, 40 minutes later, yellow police tape everywhere.
Right.
And I'm looking, and they kind of kept us at bay, and I'm looking, and I see these, like, it looks like chunks of red, like, for lack of a better term, it looked like bundles of meat.
Wow.
And I surmised, I went, I looked, it was right under the bridge, and I said to the girl, I think somebody jumped. But hearing your story, it never connected that the body separated into many fragments. And I always thought that when a body landed, maybe the head popped, but the body was just laying there limp. But what I thought after seeing all that is I think someone dropped, and the impact literally blew their body apart. And now hearing this story, it kind of ties up that loose end. It was horrific.
So we've all seen somebody that jumps and lands on the top of a car, and you see the whole body.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The car's
Yeah.
dented, and there's a great shot of it. That was not the case here.
Yeah, when you come from a really big height, it's just like,
Oh, yeah. Like a water balloon.
yeah, like a watermelon or something.
Yeah, you're right. That's exactly it.
Oh,
That's
God.
Exactly it.
What a way to go. Have you ever committed suicide?
Yeah.
Oh, you look like you have.
Yeah.
How many times?
Well, the first 3, I wouldn't really call it suicide. I just blew my head off.
Oh, wow. It was a windy day?
Yeah, it was. That's all that happened.
God.
Never have.
No.
Looking forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to do it together?
You go first.
Well, wasn't expecting that answer.
Yeah, that was that old joke about this old couple. They decided to do a double suicide, and he says, because I love you and I respect you, I don't want you to have to suffer watching me commit suicide. You go first. You go first, and then, of course, he changes his mind.
Oh, wow.
The ultimate setup.
I love it. I love it. Speaking of life, this is a good segue. Is there anything in your life that you would change or wish you could do over again? Like, is there one pivotal moment that you said, if I could just go back to that precise moment in time, I'd either do it different, or I wouldn't have done it, or I would change what I did in that moment? It's kind of a heavy question. And it's not necessarily a regret question. It could be for something good or something positive or a missed opportunity, or I don't know. But
I have an answer for that.
What is it?
In fact, I just discussed it when I was in Nashville last week in New Orleans. I was with Mr. Seinfeld.
Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, we did a couple of shows there.
Okay.
In Nashville.
How is Jerry?
Good. He's leaving the country. He's going to Seoul and South Korea and all these places.
Great.
Places to do some shows with Mario Joyner.
Oh, yeah, Mario, yeah.
We're going next week. So
okay.
I told him I felt I missed out on something, and he tried to make me feel better. But so I've been writing a lot the last couple of years, but different than my stand-up.
Yeah.
We're all writers. People don't understand. Stand-ups are writers.
Yeah.
You've been earning a living as a writer your whole life practically, right?
Yeah.
You write it, you say it, you get paid.
Yeah.
You're a writer.
Yeah.
But I've been doing other types of writing, stories and essays.
Books, as we discussed, yeah.
So I realized as I'm getting older, I wish that I was better educated, not school-wise. I wish I read the masters and the classics, and, I missed the whole boat in that area.
You mean in terms of literature?
Yeah.
Okay.
Deep literature. I'm not talking...
Nietzsche and all that stuff.
Montaigne and,
Seuss.
Yeah, Dr. and Nurse Seuss.
Yeah.
I missed it all.
Really? You didn't read any of it?
No. I didn't go to school, really.
You never sort of just on your own volition went, you know what, you're in a bookstore and you're like, I'm going to read Ayn Rand, or I'm going to read James Joyce or Bukowski, or...
I read some Bukowski.
Okay. So
but
a little.
He's not.
Yeah. Yeah, he's sort of a drunk writer, poet. Yeah.
So I miss the Greeks, the Aristotles and the Socrates and the Plato's. And I wish that I hadn't missed those guys, because I think my writing would be a lot deeper and richer.
I see. So you thought it would have impacted the depth of your writing?
Absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Huh.
I don't know if I would have been as funny.
Well, I always say knowledge is power. And no matter what it is, whether you're learning math or physics or biology or whatever, I think the more knowledge you have, even in the wacky industry we're in, the more you can filter in, the more you can filter out and make it funny. So I would dispute that and say whatever, because you're naturally a funny guy. So I think whatever you absorbed, you would have spit out in a funny way. Do you think that, excuse me, outside of your writing, did you ever feel that type of depth, that a more immersed experience into literature would have expanded you just as a thoughtful person, as an educated person?
Yeah, I don't know if I would have been a better writer or deeper writer, but I would have been expanded. Woody Allen talked about this.
Huh.
You know, he's read everything. He hates reading, but he reads it anyway because he feels he has to read it. And he says he's never been able to create anything like a Tennessee Williams or Arthur Miller, anything deep or rich on that level.
Why?
He just doesn't have it in him.
And so he reads thinking maybe that will get him there?
Yeah. You know, you read and you see and you pay attention and you read the great classic writers and you think maybe one day I'll write like that. But not all of us are gifted in that particular way.
Or maybe we're not meant to be influenced by that, because there are people who would argue that Woody Allen was so gifted in his own right, being in his own niche and his own lane. You know what I mean? Creatively. Like, let's just say Aristotle probably couldn't have written a clever, witty Woody Allen movie. Yeah.
He couldn't have written Annie Hall.
So I get what you're saying, but I think everything's cut. Everyone's, cut for their own reason.
Absolutely.
But maybe you're right. Maybe a deeper dive into that world would have altered you, and it might have, who knows, it might have altered you to the point where you arrived at a point of depth or understanding where you actually went, comedy's not for me. I have to veer this way.
Right. I would not have wanted that to happen.
Yeah.
Because what we do is so much fun, and when people, they come over the afternoon and go, I feel better.
Yeah.
I've laughed. I don't know how many people Socrates made laugh.
You know what's good though, my bro, is it's not too late. You could go on Amazon tomorrow and order 7 of these books.
I'm reading the stuff now. On
the
way here today, I had a book on tape by this.
While you were driving?
1540s he wrote.
Wow.
Montaigne.
Is that what you're listening to right now?
Yeah, on tape. Yeah.
What's it called?
This is the works of this guy. I can't pronounce his first 2 names. They're French. Montaigne.
Well, if you can't read his name, you're not going to have much luck reading the book.
Well, the guy reads it to me because it was a book on tape, okay?
Well,
I see.
I think you're off to a pretty sketchy start.
Yeah.
Might want to stick to Chuckles in Omaha.
Chuckles.
No, but what's the name of the thing you're listening to?
The works of Montaigne, basically.
But was it, when you say works, did he...
It's like a biography on him.
Okay.
And they read a lot of his works, like... each chapter is 4 or 5 minutes long. But you get the depth of this person. He was so friggin' deep.
Was he? What makes him deep? I'm just curious now. I'm not familiar with him.
He's a deep thinker.
But what is that, though? Like, sometimes you'll meet a fisherman and he says something and it's so profound and deep. But what makes this guy
so... the fisherman you'll get 1 or 2 lines out of.
Right. Well, because they're fishermen. They have a lot of lines.
By the way, I'm going to tell you a fishing thing in a minute. This guy would sit in his room and think.
But what is something that moved the needle for you that he said that was so deep you kind of went, wow, how did he come up with this, or what?
Almost everything I hear, and I can't spit it back to you because I just started on this book. I cannot spit it back to you.
Well, one thing I say on this podcast is no spitting and no
spitting
swearing.
It back.
And
but
no
let me tell you
swearing.
about fishing, by the way. Can we jump?
Probably easier, not as deep.
Not as deep. Well, fishing could be very deep. Yeah.
Okay, hit me.
I read a story yesterday about this, and you can look it up.
Okay.
You ever hear of magnet fishing?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah, where guys throw powerful magnets over a bridge and they catch an old bicycle or anything metal. They find an old rifle. They find a safe. They find... horseshoes.
Just yesterday, a guy pulled up a safe with $100,000 in it.
Come on.
Yep.
Where?
Don't know exactly where, but I just read this story yesterday.
See, I see these things on TikTok.
No, this was not TikTok. This was like a legitimate, like an NBC story or one of these.
Oh, NBC, then it's got to be legitimate.
So here's a magnet guy.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks he's a moron his whole life for doing this. And then when he pulls up 100,000, he's all of a sudden brilliant, right?
Well, I don't know if he's maybe lucky.
I think people start thinking, maybe he really...
What are the odds? How many people go get a giant magnet and go, it's like fishing. I'm going to catch a lunker today.
Yeah.
Hey, where are you going, honey? I'm off to get $100,000 safe.
Right. But when you do get it, then all of a sudden, the world looks at you. You're not an idiot anymore. They just go, he knew something, right? Don't they say that about people who've made a lot of money? Everybody thinks they know something.
He had a belief. It's like those guys that do the electronic Geiger counter things out in the field and they find an old coin. I did the magnet fishing once and I got out of the game.
Really?
Yeah, I had about a 4-pound magnet. And it's like any fishing. You gotta cast it, you gotta throw it out there, you gotta get depth, and then you drag it along and it clings on anything. So I'm on a bridge in Kentucky, and I'm swinging this thing, and an 11-year-old girl walks by. She's got the train track braces on her teeth, and she's like, "Hi!" And my mag just went right through. I was already in swing, threw her out. Now I had her on the line. I caught a 300-pound catfish.
Wow!
7-year-old girl is bait. Wow! Just one of those weird lucky flukes. It's almost like I knew something.
I think I saw that on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're ready for words from a wooden shoe, my friend.
Yeah.
That's how we usually end the show. What a show this has been. I could talk to you for another 5 minutes.
What a show this has been. What a rare mood I'm in. Why, it's almost like being Harland.
Who is that, Barry Manilow?
Could be. I saw him before he was big. I saw
Really?
the Schaefer
So you
Music
got him
Festival.
hard?
He opened for Bette Midler. He was the opening
Wow.
act, and he was mostly singing jingles.
No way. Wow, I love that song. Mr. Bojingles.
Oh, jingles.
Is he still alive, Manilow?
Very much so. In one piece.
Wow.
He looks like a guy that might have tried to jump off a building one time, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Doesn't he seem that
I'm
way?
not going to argue it.
Like, if he jumped off a building, you would go, yeah,
Yeah.
kind of makes sense. Barry Manilow.
Yeah. Because he did write that lyric, standing at the edge of time.
He did.
Standing at the edge of time.
Weekend in New England.
Colored memories asleep on the window. Right?
know, yeah.
Mandy.
Oh, Mandy.
Na 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 na. Oh, Mandy, you pushed me. And
What am I pulling out?
oh,
of?
this is words from a wooden shoe. We do this every show. You reach into the shoe, pull a random word, and see if you have a story from your journey in life.
Everybody has to look the other way when they pull things
Yeah.
out, right? Why is that?
I don't know. They're scared. But if this elicits a story you can share with us, whether it's your story, someone you knew.
Wow.
Oh, here we go. What's the word?
Harland.
Wow.
No, it can't be.
My name's Oh,
No, it's lips.
lips. Okay,
Lips.
interesting. I already told my story
Yeah.
about lips.
Lips.
Yeah. Wow.
So, you want a joke about lips?
Whatever
Yeah,
the
so-
response it gives you.
So this guy's sitting in a waiting room across from this woman, and they're talking, and he says, she says, "What are you here for?" He goes, "I donate sperm, and I come once a month. I donate sperm, to the clinic here."
He comes once a month.
He goes, so she says, "Really? How much you get paid for that?" He goes, "I get $500. And he goes, "What are you doing here?" She goes, "I give blood every once a month. I donate, blood." He goes, "How much you get?" She goes, "I get $25. Okay. A month later, they're sitting together in the doctor's office again, and he sees her across from him, and he sees her lips moving. And he says, "So what are you here for?" And she goes, "Mm-hmm."
Can you finish the joke?
Mm-hmm.
Use words, guy.
There are no words there.
Well, you're just going to tell me a joke and not tell me the punchline?
He says, what are you here for? She goes,
Right.
What do you think she's donating?
Is that the punchline?
It's one of the best jokes out there.
Not as good as the 69 one.
No, but this was a big joke. But it's
Well.
about the lips. It's as close to I can get to lips.
Yeah.
Lipstick.
Maybe next time use the lips to say the punchline.
Lipstick on my collar. Remember that song?
Oh, yeah.
Lipstick
Iron
on
Maiden.
my collar.
Iron
Oh,
Maiden.
a tale or two.
Killers album.
Oh, I love Iron Maiden. I saw them in England.
Pardon you?
I saw them in England.
What were they doing? Having a muffin?
Playing in the outdoor. Yeah.
Mark Schiff, please tell the comedy world and everyone out there, all my 7 or 8 viewers, where they can find you, what you're doing. I know you have a new podcast.
I do.
Like, tell them everything. Let it go. This is your time, Lips.
So I got my book, Why Not? Lessons on Comedy, Courage, and Chutzpah. My first book, True Stories of the Road by America's Top Comics, which you're in.
Oh, I am. So is the mouse story in there?
The mouse is in there.
Oh, wow.
You're in there.
Okay.
I should get you a copy of it.
Finally, 9 years later.
Yeah, more than that. Yeah. And my new podcast with my partner, Danny Lobel, it's called We Think It's Funny.
Okay.
And what we do is we do a little bit of interview like you're doing.
Yeah.
And then we throw out some topics and we try to find the funny in the topics.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Do I get to do it?
You do. You're going to come on.
Good.
I told you, but you
I
said
know.
you couldn't do it for a little while.
Right. I'm excited.
Yeah, I want you to come.
Please.
Soon.
Yeah, thank you. I'd love to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think it's funny.
You will be so great on this show. This will be the best experience of your life.
Whoa.
Oh.
What about comedy? You doing some more tours? You doing anything with Jerry? You doing your own thing?
On tour with him nonstop. If you go to markschiff.com and go to dates,
Yeah.
DATS,
Yeah.
you'll see my tour schedule. He's out of town now for a couple of weeks working, but as soon as he comes back, we'll be together. And then I do some private events.
Oh, good. And they can find that on your website to book you for private corporate.
Markschiff.com. I don't do corporates.
Okay, but like private parties and events and things. Yeah.
Evangelistic things.
Wow.
Yeah.
And where can they get your books? On Amazon?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Okay.
Everywhere books are sold, my book is there. Why Not? Lessons on Comedy, Courage, and Chutzpah. And, of course, our new podcast, We Think It's Funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buddy, I think you're funny. I think you're beyond funny. I think you're freaking hilarious.
Right.
Love having you here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Schiff. Check out his books. Check out his new podcast. And folks, until next time, I always say this, chicken chow mein, baby.
I love it.
You love Chinese food?
Noodles.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Harland.
Thank you more.
Thank you, even.
More?
Even.
Okay.
More or less.
So thank you, even.
Even
We're even.
Even now, more.
Great. Hey, everybody. How would you like your very own personal video message from me, yours truly? It's your birthday, it's your anniversary, it's your graduation, or you just want me to make you laugh? You get to pick the topic you want me to discuss, give me some talking points, and off we go. You can get it for yourself or get it for a friend. It's super easy and fun. Just go to the Cameo app on your phone or to cameo.com. And I record a custom video made just for you or your loved one. Your very own personalized Harland.